In England 740 BC, a war between witches took place. The fate of humanity at that time was placed in the hands of a great witch, Merlin. Merlin had 3 students, Balthazar, Veronica, and Horvath, but one of the 3 betrayed him, and this was Morgana Le Fay, Merlin's sworn enemy. She colluded with Horvath to steal a dangerous spell. That spell could give Morgana the power to summon and control the army of the dead. Unfortunately, when Balthazar and Veronica arrived, it was too late. Merlin was stabbed by Morgana, but at the crucial moment before Morgana could escape, Veronica sacrificed herself, turning her body into a prison to hold Morgana's soul. But at the same time, Le Fay also destroyed Veronica from within. In order to save the girl he loved, Balthazar locked them both in the Grimhold. The prison takes the form of a multi-layered Russian doll. When Merlin was dying, he gave Balthazar a dragon ring. Merlin said that this ring would help Balthazar find the adult prime Merlinian, who would become the heir and the only one who could destroy Morgana. Balthazar then fought many evil witches to free Morgana and trapped them in layer after layer of the doll. He finally trapped Horvath in the outermost layer of the doll. During his long life, he continued to fight and search for the heir, as Merlin had instructed. In the year 2000 in New York City, this is Dave, the boy who went on a class trip today. While sitting on the bus with his friends, Dave drew a picture of King Kong on the window. When the bus passed a tower, the monkey that Dave drew coincidentally swung into the tower. This impressed Dave's pretty classmate, Becky, the person Dave likes. While the whole class was sitting and listening to the teacher introduce the goddess of freedom, Dave wrote a note asking Becky to be his girlfriend. She chose the answer and left it on the concrete tree box. Dave wanted to take it, but the note was blown away by the wind. The boy hurriedly chased after the small note. It stuck to a young man's bicycle wheel, then was removed and stuck to a dog's leg. The dog's owner removed the note from the dog's leg and threw it away. Dave kept chasing the note until it flew into an antique shop. Like many other naughty kids, Dave curiously went inside. The clumsy boy accidentally dropped some antiques, causing Balthazar to warn him about the dangerous magical items that he should not touch. Then Balthazar realized that the reason Dave came here was by chance. It was just like what Merlin had said, and so Balthazar let Dave try Merlin's dragon ring. Dave felt suspicious and wanted to leave, but how could Balthazar let Dave go so easily? Then Dave had to go back to try the ring. As soon as the metal dragon was on Dave's hand, it moved and turned into a ring that hugged his finger. Balthazar explained to Dave the meaning of the ring. One day Dave would become a very important wizard. The first thing Dave had to do was learn magic. Before Balthazar went to get the magic book, he told Dave not to touch anything in the shop. But the dragon ring was sensitive to the Grimhold. So with just a few waves of Dave's hand, the doll that Balthazar had hidden behind the wall flew out. Somehow, as soon as Dave touched the doll, Horvath's seal was broken. Many cockroaches ran out from inside the doll. They gathered and transformed into Horvath. Horvath attempted to attack Dave, but was sent flying to the ceiling by Balthazar. Balthazar used magic to hold Horvath on the ceiling, but Horvath still tried to reach for his wand. Horvath knocked Balthazar into the wall and pinned him down with a cabinet. While the two were struggling to get the Grimhold, the doll rolled to Dave's feet. Dave secretly wanted to hug the doll and escape, but was caught by Horvath. Balthazar jumped out of the fire and grabbed Horvath. Both Balthazar and Horvath were also sucked into an antique vase. This helped Dave escape in time. When Dave ran out of the store, Dave panicked and threw the doll away. Dave's teacher and friends also found him at this time. Dave tried to explain to the teacher about the strange things he had just encountered, but the teacher did not believe him. His friends laughed at Dave because he accidentally peed his pants. 10 years later, Dave became a physics student. He lives with a friend named Bennett, a biology student. Bennett is very interested in studying gray wolves. Bennett showed Dave a picture of a pack of wolves and their habits. Dave was busy with his presentation today. That day in class, Dave accidentally met Becky again. Becky is now a beautiful girl. As for Dave, after the incident at the antique store, he suffered a serious psychological trauma. Dave couldn't stand the laughter of his mother's friends, so Dave left Arcana Cabana to go to therapy. After class, Dave and Becky left in the rain. Only then did Dave learn that Becky was now a radio announcer. When they reached the door of the studio, the radio antenna was struck by lightning. Dave helped them fix it. Thanks to that, he received gratitude and admiration from Becky. But Dave is really a silly guy. The guy only fixed the antenna without asking her out. That's why Bennett also felt angry for his friend. While Dave was absorbed in his research on magnetic waves, somewhere else Horvath escaped from the jar that had held him captive for 10 years. As soon as he escaped, Horvath intended to destroy the jar so that Balthazar Balthazar would not have a chance to return, but luckily, he managed to get his head out of the jar in time. Horvath, after thinking he could get rid of Balthazar, went to the apartment where Dave was living. Horvath stuck the test he had picked up from Dave 10 years ago on the refrigerator. Dave came home and saw it and was shocked. Horvath criticized Dave's academic performance and asked him about the whereabouts of the Grimhold. But Dave had thrown away the doll a long time ago, so he couldn't give it to Horvath. Dave quickly found a way to escape. Horvath turned Bennett's picture of the gray wolves into real wolves. They chased Dave to the subway station. Horvath walked slowly behind. The wolves easily spotted Dave hiding under the train tracks. They quickly charged at him in a pack. Dave thought he wouldn't be able to escape this time, but when the wolves rushed forward, they turned into puppies. A giant iron bird kicked Horvath's head, knocking him over. It turned out to be Balthazar, who had come to Dave's rescue. Balthazar trapped Horvath in a slow-down water, preventing him from casting a spell to attack Dave. When the iron bird landed them on the roof of a building, Dave was shocked to learn that the giant bird was the head of the bird that decorated the roof of the building. Dave complained about how terrible his life had been for the past 10 years. But with what Balthazar had been through, it really didn't matter. Balthazar cast a spell on a dove and let it fly away. And when it returned, it brought with it the cabinet containing the dragon ring that Dave represented as the prime Merlinian. Balthazar encouraged Dave that he was a talented person, but Dave just wanted to live his normal life. Balthazar threatened Dave with the cruel ways that Horvath might do to Dave. Then the two made a deal. Dave would bring the Grimhold back to Balthazar. Then Balthazar would let Dave go. Then Dave could do whatever he wanted. After reaching the desired deal, Balthazar used a spell to locate the Grimhold instead of riding the Iron Eagle. This time, they would ride in Balthazar's vintage car. On the way to find the Grimhold, Balthazar explained to Dave how to use magic. According to Balthazar, they only need to use 100% of the human brain. The first step is to empty the mind. The next is to look at the molecules, and the last step is to make them vibrate. Horvath then returns to the shop where they encountered 10 years ago and uses a time-seeing spell to see what happened to the Grimhold. When Balthazar and Dave reach Chinatown, Horvath arrives before them. Balthazar releases one of Morgan's followers from the Grimhold's seal. He is a Chinese sorcerer named Sunlock. He sneaks up on Balthazar with a pair of acupuncture needles from behind. Balthazar uses the cloak to block the attack, then counterattacks and sends him flying down the stairs. Sunlock lands right where Dave is standing. Dave quickly runs away. Sunlock uses a spell to turn the fake dragon on the road into a real dragon. Balthazar steals the Grimhold and runs to Dave's aid. At this time, when Dave reaches the fire escape of the building, the dragon is chasing him. Just as Dave is about to be attacked by the dragon, he casts a fire spell and burns the dragon to ashes. When Dave ran down to brag to Balthazar, Horvath also discovered that Dave was the prime Merlinian. Because of the chaos that had occurred, the city police quickly appeared in Chinatown. Balthazar quickly transformed the two into two policemen and successfully fooled the policemen that the chaos was just caused by confetti. When they returned to the car, Balthazar wanted Dave to return the dragon ring as they had agreed. But Dave felt regretful because he wanted to learn magic from Balthazar. This was completely within Balthazar's prediction. What they needed now was a secret place to practice. Dave took Balthazar to the underground subway where he used as a laboratory. Balthazar gave Dave a tiny magic book, but the more he opened it, the more it turned into a large enough book. Next, Balthazar drew a Merlin circle on the floor. This circle would help Dave quickly learn magic. Although a little scared, Dave was forced to step inside the burning circle. From that moment on, Dave officially became Balthazar's student. The first magic Balthazar taught Dave was lightning control. Dave, a clumsy man, had a hard time learning it. Next was fire magic. Since he had practiced it before, Dave easily blocked Balthazar's attack. But Balthazar's training was not so easy. After the training, the two went out for dinner, and Dave saw Becky walking down the street. Although Balthazar advised Dave to focus on magic rather than love, but Dave had missed Becky for 10 years, and now he couldn't miss her again. So Dave chased after Becky. While they were walking and talking, a robber appeared and stole the handbag and the souvenir bracelet that Becky's grandmother had left for her. Dave immediately wanted to be the hero. Dave chased after the robber, and luckily, Dave was able to defeat the robber by controlling the trash can to smash him. Becky was grateful, but also felt that this old friend had changed. Before Becky boarded the train, Dave and she had a date. He was not immersed in pink love. At this time, Balthazar appeared behind and dragged Dave back to continue studying. At the same time, Horvath also found a new henchman, a colorful magician named Drake Stone. Drake Stone was a student of a Morganian. Drake Stone was left by his master at the age of 15 with a magic book, so he only learned a few trivial tricks to turn him into a talented magician. Horvath took Drake's stone to a building where Horvath would free Morgana. Morgana would have enough conditions to perform the spell to summon the army of the dead. The next day, Becky went to the basement as promised to Dave. At this time, Dave was practicing magic with Balthazar. Balthazar claimed to be Dave's uncle and intentionally embarrassed him. Then Balthazar went to the antique shop 15 years ago and went down to the basement to find his things. Dave and Becky enjoy a date in his lab. Dave shows Becky his experiment using electric rays to play Becky's new song. This successfully impresses her. Thanks to that, their relationship also becomes better, and they have a new date after that. But the peace does not last long. Horvath and Drake Stone come to school to find Dave. Drake ambushes Dave in the bathroom and challenges him to use the strongest spell he has learned to attack Drake. But Dave has not really learned anything formidable. Horvath is bored with the meaningless struggle of two idiots, so Horvath steps in and threatens Dave. At the same time, Horvath also tells Dave the truth that he is a prime Merlinian. Balthazar appears again to save Dave. Balthazar takes advantage of Drake's attack to trap Horvath in the mirror world. Balthazar snaps his fingers and sends Drake flying into the toilet. Back in the lab, Dave asks Balthazar about the secrets Balthazar hasn't told him yet. Dave asks what prime Merlinian is and who is trapped inside the doll. Balthazar has to tell Dave the whole truth. Balthazar reveals the truth that only Dave is the prime Merlinian who can destroy Morgana and save the world. Although Dave can't accept this, he has entered the Merlin circle, so he can't go back. Horvath has also found a way to escape the mirror world. He goes to the school staff to find where Dave and Balthazar are hiding. Dave is practicing for the upcoming battle. The practice doesn't seem to be very effective. To destroy Morgana, Dave needs to perform spells without using the dragon ring. At this time, the date with Becky is approaching. Dave wants to stop the practice to prepare for Becky. He controls the automatic mop to work. While he was taking a shower, the mop seemed to have lost control. They turned the entire basement into a lake. Dave couldn't stop them. Becky came knocking on the door. He could do nothing but tell her to go home and cancel the date. The mess was only resolved when Balthazar returned. Balthazar was angry that Dave had misused his magic for nefarious purposes, but Dave was also angry that he couldn't even use magic for simple tasks. So how could he have the power to save the world? He didn't realize that his lack of confidence in himself was the reason he couldn't improve. Dave blamed Balthazar for making his life worse. Now he wanted to refuse the noble duty that had been placed on his shoulders. Dave wandered down the street and accidentally saw Becky having a good time with her friends in a cafe. Becky also saw Dave when he turned his back. She chases him up to the roof of the building. Dave is about to throw away the dragon ring, but Becky interrupts his thoughts. Becky confesses that she is not angry with him for canceling the date at the last minute. They see the city from above. Dave helps Becky overcome her fear of heights. She compliments him on what he has done. This gives Dave more confidence in himself. Dave wants to go back to the lab to apologize to Balthazar, but Horvath has already found the place. Drake disguises himself as Dave, making Balthazar lose his guard. Drake suddenly knocks Balthazar away and locks his hands and feet to Dave's experimental equipment. Horvath appears later and uses a spell to create a black smoke to track the Grimhold. While Horvath is rambling on about why he betrayed Merlin, Horvath also loves Veronica, but she chooses Balthazar over him. Horvath will free Morgana so she can destroy the world that Balthazar has devoted himself to protecting. Balthazar suddenly breaks the handcuffs and sends Horvath flying. Balthazar controls the daggers hidden in his shirt to attack back. The flying knives stop when they get close to Balthazar. Dave returns at this time and blocks the attack. Horvath quickly escapes. Balthazar and Dave quickly chase them by car. When they reach the main road, all the cars on the road have been turned into taxis. Dave controls the ring connected to the Grimhold, causing the doll to hit Drake's face. Drake loses control of the steering wheel, making it easy for them to recognize which car is being driven by them. Horvath immediately turns their car into a sports car. Balthazar is no slower. He also turns his classic car into a supercar. The two sides chase into the tunnel, which is covered in thick smoke due to Horvath's spell. Horvath also took revenge on Balthazar for the bathroom incident with the mirror world spell. Horvath breaks the glass in the real world so the two of them can't escape, but Balthazar recklessly drives through a falling glass, and so they escape from there and continue chasing them. When they turn the steering wheel into an alley, they see Horvath has turned the sports car into a garbage compactor. The clumsy Dave now wants to show off his limited talent. He turns their supercar into an old car, causing them to be crushed to death. Horvath and Drake also take advantage of this moment to escape. On the way, Horvath also turns a woman into Veronica's form, causing Balthazar to lose concentration. So Horvath successfully escapes. They return to Drake's apartment. Horvath absorbs Drake's power and takes Drake's spells and inserts them into his staff. Horvath uses the power he just stole to unseal the next believer sealed in the doll. It was a witch in the form of a little girl. Her mission was to go to the radio station and capture Becky. Horvath then stole her power. He needed more power to open the strongest seal. The last doll swallowed Veronica's body and Morgana's soul. Balthazar and Dave found Drake's apartment. They split up to search for Grimhold and Horvath. Dave easily got the Grimhold, but it wasn't that easy. While Balthazar was stuck in the large carpet, Horvath appeared. Horvath took Becky hostage. Horvath forced Dave to hand over the Grimhold and the Dragon Eye, representing the Prime Merlinian. Because of his great love for Becky, Dave couldn't hesitate any longer and gave both treasures to Horvath. Horvath kept his word, released Becky, and left. Before leaving, Horvath fired a shot at them. Horvath saw this scene and laughed contemptuously and left. Balthazar escaped the chaos and ran to the scene to find only Dave and Becky left. He could have guessed what had happened, but this time he understood Horvath's actions. What Balthazar needed to do now was to stop Horvath from releasing Morgana. Balthazar didn't want Dave to go with him. Now Dave no longer had the label to use magic. Balthazar then rode off on the giant iron falcon, much to Becky's shock. Becky hoped Dave would tell her everything honestly. Dave didn't want to hide anything anymore, so he told her the whole truth and what he had experienced. They decided to go to the fountain to help Balthazar. First, Dave contacted Bennett and asked him to go to the lab to remove an electronic antenna to install on Balthazar's car. On the way to the fountain, Dave saw Morgana's magical light beams shooting through the satellites of the buildings. She was creating a magic circle with those dish antennas. Dave asked Becky to climb to the roof of a building to deflect the antenna, preventing Morgana from completing the spell. Meanwhile, Balthazar also sneaked near the fountain, but Horvath discovered and blew Balthazar away. Thanks to the magical items he had collected, Horvath was now very powerful. Horvath enchanted the bronze bull on the road and ordered it to continuously attack Balthazar. This time, Dave was the one who came to Balthazar's rescue in time. Dave used the antenna attached to the front of the car to knock Horvath's staff away. The giant iron falcon also carried the bull away. Balthazar escaped danger. Just as Morgana's spell to summon the dead was completed, Becky managed to deflect the antenna. The magic circle was broken and reflected back to Veronica's body. Balthazar tried to save the person he loved in the same way she had saved him. Balthazar absorbed Morgana's soul into his body, but she was too powerful and he was injured, so she quickly escaped from his body. Morgana attacked them with fire, but Dave blocked it. Dave created a shield for all three without using his magic ring. Morgana recognized Dave as the Prime Merlinian. She withdrew her magic fire and attacked them with thunderballs instead. Dave could not block the continuous attacks. Morgana sent Veronica and Balthazar flying. Dave was left alone to fight the evil witch. Dave shot thunderballs through Morgana's soul. They flew into a powerhouse. While Dave was trying to block Morgana's attacks, the electric wires that Dave had enchanted began climbing up the nearby lampposts. Dave took advantage of his physics course to turn Morgana into an electronic antenna. The continuous lightning strikes on her made the witch's soul unstable. The amount of electricity was so much that the entire city lost power. Dave took the opportunity to shoot a series of thunderballs at Morgana. Her soul gradually disintegrated and disappeared forever. Dave happily wanted to show off his victory to Balthazar, but he died due to his severe injuries. With modern course knowledge, Dave created a shock current using magic to revive Balthazar. Magic is always magical. Balthazar was resurrected and reunited with the love of his life. Dave also got the love of his life. They traveled together on Balthazar's iron falcon. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching. Please support us by following the channel to watch new videos as soon as possible. Goodbye, and see you again.